And it's just not loading up on my phone. But I've tweeted it. Okay, Iranian missiles have targeted Ali Al Salim Air Base in Kuwait and the Kuwaiti National Security Agency. So, as I said, I had someone on the ground telling me that there was been 8 hits. The person's now telling me that there's a second wave of attacks towards Israel and towards Bahrain right now. So that's happening right now.
I just sent you more video on that.
And it was the Al Dafra base.
Anyone know, have they shifted their attention away from Tel Aviv and Israel to these US bases entirely, or are they spreading it evenly across the region?
No. Israel's being lit up. The map on Israel, I'm on their Telegram channel for their early warning system. It is going off consistently. I don't know how, but Iran is just they're going ham.
Yeah, as
Qatar
my
just
brother
closed their
mentioned, from that
airspace.
12-day war, they had tons of preparation, so they were waiting for this day, unfortunately.
Just to confirm, explosions heard in Abu Dhabi as well. Explosions heard in Abu Dhabi as well. Some missiles have been intercepted, but there's also been an explosion in Abu Dhabi.
Well, Iran said they were going to do this after the 12-day war, if they were ever attacked again. That this is what
Well,
they would
Trump
do.
and Doc Trump knows it. He literally said in the
Yeah,
speech, right? He said, "Guess what? Americans are going to lose their lives, and that's war. That's war."
it's
That's what he.
That's a
Oh
ton
my
of
God,
places.
significance. Wow,
Yeah, that sounded
significant
like you're
constant
teaching us
explosions.
geography.
Dude, Amman just got hit.
got
What
9,000
what
listeners
just
in the
got hit?
space right now.
Amman, Jordan just got hit.
Amman just got hit. Really, actually got hit.
And
That's what they're
Suleiman, I saw
saying.
you tweeted Saudi Arabia, so there's confirmation on that, correct? Just so I know.
Yeah, that's been from 2 sources. Obviously,
Got
I
it.
should have probably wrote
Thank you.
unconfirmed on that one, but there's probably things or not. We've got another video of an Iranian ballistic missile striking the U.S. naval. Wow, that's a crazy explosion. So we got another video on that. Okay, Nathan, come up.
Israel's also striking Iraq. Israeli media is reporting Israel is striking Iraq. So let's check this. Israel striking Iran, Israel striking Iraq, Israel's been striking Lebanon. What DG just read out there, that list of countries, all in the space of 2 hours, how did anybody think that this was not going to end up being regional? That's crazy.
Okay, breaking. UK MTO has now advised mariners to be aware of significant military action in the Arabian Gulf, the Gulf of Oman, North Arabian Sea, and the Strait of Hormuz. Oh, we knew that was coming. Additionally,
All right,
UK
so
MTO
Video of Riyadh hit.
they warned mariners of potential for increase of electronic interference that might disrupt AIS and navigational systems.
I'm hearing from sources on the ground in Saudi Arabia that it's a rumor and they're denying that Saudi Arabia's been hit. They are confirming that Kuwait, UAE, and Bahrain have been hit. But Saudi Arabia has not been hit, according to sources on the ground.
Is your source
Yeah, I'm
Dr.
gonna wait
Uta?
for that
Are
one to
Is
those
be
your source?
sources,
confirmed.
are
Is
those
this
the
source
sources on the
Dr.
ground?
Uta?
Yeah, go on. No, I was just going to say, are those the sources on the ground that deny that Saudi's even got an airbase? Like, Nathan, are those ones, or are they like proper
Even
odd
if it
ones,
was,
or
it would
what?
be stupid for them to deny it if it has happened, because eventually we will find out. So either way, it would be stupid to do that.
Well, if they don't acknowledge that Saudi's got an airbase, of course they're going to deny it's been hit.
Yeah, I expect them to deny it. Like, not even shocked that they so-called deny it.
Look, I hope, right, that Nathan's right. And I hope that their denial is accurate. And I hope Saudi has not been hit. There are, I don't know how many hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pilgrims from all across the world in Mecca and Medina now,
The
in the
Sa-
holy month of
the
Ramadan.
Saudi one I've heard from a couple of sources. Now, I could obviously all the sources may have got it from the same source, and therefore it may not be accurate. But
Yeah,
the Saudi one
just
is from a few different sources, but it could be
bear
misinformation as well.
yeah, bear in mind Riyadh is very far east of the two holy cities being Mecca and Medina, and I don't think that Iran would ever target those holy cities, being that they identify with them to do some degree as well. So that probably wouldn't be the
Yeah,
case,
yeah.
but certainly there is something to be said about other provinces in Saudi Arabia being bombed if they do house secret military bases or public ones. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's the case. But Mecca
I
and
was
Medina are
thinking
certainly
that,
off
Riyadh, and
limits.
I'm so glad you said that because I didn't know how far Riyadh was, but I was thinking, nah, Iran wouldn't. But you know
Very
what?
far east. Mecca and Medina are certainly off limits.
That
I,
wasn't
I
even on
thought
their list of people. Oh, go ahead.
no, no, sorry, mate. I hand it to you. I was just going to say, I was thinking, while I was quiet, I was thinking, right? I do know people who are there at the moment, you see, and so I'm obviously a bit concerned. So I was thinking, Iran wouldn't do that, right? Iran's a principled, right? Iran's only going after the military bases. But do you know what? Freaking Israel would do that as a false flag and blame Iran. Maze jump in.
Yeah, actually, to support that, Iran gave everyone a warning of where they should, their citizens should leave. Like they pretty much warned them, and that was not on the list, but all the other ones were.
No, certainly. Yeah, there's a potentiality of that. I think Israel will have their hands full, though. I think they're going to have to focus on Tehran and the other provinces in Iran. And if they shift their attention anywhere else, that'll open them up to already poor damage that they can't sustain. And we saw that in the 12-day war. And I'm sure they're going to censor the hell out of their media. And by the way, our media is going to censor their damage as well. But I would imagine that Tel Aviv is probably really going to see a lot more damage than they saw previously and turn into a parking lot in some parts.
I just have
Breaking,
four
Iran
quick
says
updates.
everything is now on the table, including scenarios that were not previously under consideration. Go ahead, Nathan, sorry.
Sorry, just four quick updates. So we have explosions heard in Tel Aviv, Israel. Also, the U.S. Israeli airstrikes against multiple ballistic missile sites across western Iran. Also, we have reports of smoke rising from Al Dhafra Air Base in the UAE. And then there's also alleged reports of several ambulances on site at the Narmak military base in Tehran after the U.S. missile strike on the site. Reports of large number of Iranian casualties. And then also, Sully, I sent you a video of an impact in Haifa. It shows some debris and destruction from inside of a building. And then also,
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now,
I
there's
posted that. I
sirens
posted
going.
that. That's the right now. If Morphet, you can put it up. I believe it's in Israel. That
Yeah,
where is it? It's the Al Carmel inside hitting Al Carmel inside the Israel. Well, in the inside Israel. I mean, I forgot to take the that
and
out. But
then
yeah,
also there are sirens in Haifa right now, and then there are reports of new launches from Iran.
more launches from Iran. Iran.
Yeah, a new wave just detected.
I just posted up the post Suleiman was referring to in the Nest direct hit in El Carmel inside the genocider Israel entity with an Iranian rocket. So it looks like the Epstein Islanders are being heavily barraged with Iranian rockets right now in retaliation from their terrorist attack earlier against Iran.
New wave of attacks launched by Iran on Israel. New wave of attacks launched by Iran on Israel. Guys, there's a lot of people who keep getting dropped out of the space, either out of the space or out of the speaker panel. We keep bringing you guys up, so don't worry. It is just basically a glitch.
Breaking news.
Obviously,
Sorry,
we've got.
we
Go
have
ahead.
more explosions heard in Qatar as we speak.
What's
Also, more
how
We've
did
sirens
that?
for
also
Tel
got
Aviv.
some in Jerusalem. There's been a loud explosion, and then Reuters is reporting that Israeli airstrikes hit Hashid Shabi PMF headquarters south of Baghdad, killing one and wounding three.
Ooh, there was a statement from the Iran Supreme National Security Council. The enemy believes that the steadfast Iranian nation will surrender to its petty demands through cowardly measures. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic
Sorry,
of
Mies,
Iran.
breaking news. It looks like a settler just got killed in Israel, in Hebron.
Okay. Republic of Iran have begun a divisive response to the hostile actions and will keep the dear people continuously informed.
And something I want to quickly mention from a generality, regardless of the physical outcome of this war, Trump has already lost figuratively. Now we've seen sustained damage to several Gulf countries and allies like the UAE, Qatar, Kuwait, Bahrain, and Saudi Arabia. So let's say we did end this in a week or 2 weeks, which I think is unlikely. This will still damage the United States' credibility. We'll lose the moral high ground, and this will push other Gulf countries that were previously aligned with us to hedge up against China and Iran and Russia as allies closer than we previously were. So this hurts our not only a political stance, but this hurts us from a global stance as well. A lot of countries are going to have a different perception of the United States after this because this is the second time we've gotten involved in an unnecessary Middle Eastern conflict. One, the previous one lasting 20 plus years. Who knows how long this one will last and the damaging effects of it? Because now we're in a full blown regional war.
Don't you think like
Some more
Russia?
breaking news. The UAE has declared a state of alert in the country. And Mofa, if you can you check in because obviously we're tweeting out and I'm not getting a chance to jump in. The UAE declares a state of alert in the country. New wave of attacks launched by Iran on Israel. Explosion in Qatar, and then obviously previously we had explosion in Kuwait and Abu Dhabi. In addition to that, guys, if you're on the YouTube, if there's any audio issues, just tag me on there and then I'll rethink it. We are live on YouTube, and that tweet is in the nest. I think we've got like 1,000 people on there as well. So, guys, if there's any audio issues, anything like that, you can listen on the YouTube. If there's any audio issues on the YouTube, just tag me in and I'll sort it out. But that tweet's in the nest. And make sure everyone on YouTube is liking the YouTube. Let's try and get the YouTube likes up to 1,000 if we can. Even if you're on the space, if you can go to the YouTube, I'm sure you've all got a channel, just like the YouTube so we can hit the algorithm on that. Back to you, Beatrix.
Yeah, there's been 3 explosions in Qatar. I've got somebody in Qatar who's messaging me. 3 explosions on the American airbase in Qatar. And the IDF released a statement. This came in about 15 minutes ago. Operation Roaring Lion. The IDF and the US Armed Forces the Iranian regime has not abandoned its plan to destroy Israel. The regime has continued financing, training, and arming its proxies positioned on Israel's borders. These actions constitute an existential threat to Israel and pose a danger to the Middle East and the world as a whole. So that statement came out a short while ago. They're also posting, the IDF are, that the sirens sounding across Israel. It's crazy.
Yeah, and this is all from air. We haven't even gotten to boots on ground, which hopefully is not introduced because Iran's terrain is unforgiving, similar to that of Afghanistan.
I'm just seeing now there is my phone crashed, but basically there is a new
It's
wave
crazy how
of
the shit isn't even fucking
attacks
like
on
on your right side.
Jerusalem. I think I read it there was a hit, but let me just refresh because it flipping crashed. But yeah, possibly another hit in on Israel has happened, but I just need to verify that,
Hebron.
guys.
Yep, Hebron.
Hebron has been hit.
I saw that there was the explosion in Jerusalem. I just don't know what it was.
So I don't see any videos on it, but they're saying that there's a direct hit to an Israeli military base in the south of the country on Hebron from Iran. Interceptions are currently going off. I'm on a bunch of mapping telegrams, and the mapping, like, they detect for like infrared and anomalies and stuff. They're saying they can't even keep up with what's going on in Iran. Like, they're just repeatedly going off.
Yeah, Israel's not going to be able to keep up with those ballistic missiles. Those are the 10-minute express missiles, I like to call them. And these U.S. bases as well are have no clue how to deal with these. They're not equipped, at least for a long scale invasion or a long scale attack, rather. Sorry.
Massive explosions heard in Jerusalem.
We got the first videos coming out from Abu Dhabi, from the explosion in Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi hit, and we've got the first video out of the explosion from Abu Dhabi. So Abu Dhabi was hit, and that explosion, we've got the video, it's about to be posted, so Mofi will put it in the nest, but the explosion in Abu Dhabi is happening right now as well. I mean, sorry, we already happened, but we've got the video out.
Oh my God, there's it's silly. I can't listen to the video, but the caption of the video says an American soldier is yelling out, "Ha ha ha!" after interceptions, and then "Oh shit, oh fuck!" as oh sorry for cursing. That's what they wrote. An American sailor records the Iranian strike in Bahrain. So these are our American soldiers, guys. When you're listening to this, there are Americans on those bases.
Trump
Iran
doesn't
has
care.
struck the Al Daffa U.S. air base in the UAE, and the base hosts U.S. and French military assets.
So have they not launched any strikes in that direction? I have a feeling that they're just going to let them try to get it out, and then what do you guys think? I haven't heard anything going back to Iran, which is, I don't know, seems
Yeah,
odd,
no,
right?
Iran is being struck as we speak. They're both being,
Oh, they are.
yeah, they're still being struck.
Okay.
No, there's
I just felt
insane
like they were
missiles.
hitting some
Various
residential
Oh,
military,
areas,
Tehran's
but
getting
they
hit
didn't go.
continuously. It's getting hit
Oh, okay.
continuously.
yeah, various different
Yeah,
targets have been
Tehran,
hit across Iran.
Yeah,
They're
that's one of
claiming
my
to
shit
be
echoing
targeting
anyway. That's
the
funny. So
missile
into
bases,
space echoing like
missile
this.
launchers, storage sites, and there's a few other targets that have been hit also.
They started out in residential areas with the assassinations, or attempts anyway. It's crazy.
Yeah, definitely going to be a lot of casualties in Iran too, because Israel could care less than to kill civilians if it means killing one high-ranking military personnel. So they're definitely going to continue to hit
Yeah, they've
civilians if
also
it means killing one or
targeted
two guys.
IRGC bases also, numerous across Iran.
Look, so it says U.S. And Israeli strikes. They went dozens of targets across several waves, including presidential building and Ministry of Intelligence. And it says Trump calls for Iranian people to take over the government. Iran announces retaliation, and then
Base in the UAE and the US Fifth Fleet base in Bahrain. So those are the confirmed hits. The other ones need to be verified, but those are confirmed hits.
I have a statement from Iran's Supreme National Security Council. It says the enemy believes that the steadfast Iranian nation will surrender to its petty demands through cowardly measures. The armed forces of the Islamic Republic of Iran.
Red alerts.
So nothing in regards to Israel again.
No, in terms of Israel, yeah, I haven't heard any from the Israeli side here.
So sorry, what did you ask?
Was injured in Israel, an injury in Israel.
No, and I've not seen any missile hit in Israel.
So apparently, echoes of a powerful explosion were heard in Tehran, the Iranian capital, based on an Al Jazeera correspondent's report 9 seconds ago. That's on IL Red Alert.
Okay.
Yeah, they're full of shit. There's been a few times where Israel's been hit a couple times already. That's why I like the other space better.
Say again, sorry?
Mention that? Has
Sorry,
anybody
no.
mentioned about a direct hit on an apartment complex in Ashkelon?
No, we haven't mentioned that.
Well, that's just come in also. And then also there's new strikes in Abu Dhabi, Qatar, and Kuwait just come in also.
Yeah, I've seen that. The new wave of attacks on Abu Dhabi. Yeah, I haven't seen the one that you said about the one in Israel. If you can send me that just to verify, that'd be good. Because I haven't seen that one.
You guys heard Doha got hit too, right? Al Jazeera said they even heard it, it seems like.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
think
there's
they
been
just
three
stored it in
strikes on
Qatar.
Doha. I reported that just a little while ago.
Okay, okay.
3 strikes on the military base in Doha so far that we know of. They've got an American military base. Remember, they were
the type of war that they're going to be leading?
I think the key thing actually is the asset that's not there. So in past major military operations in the Middle East, such as the 2 wars against Iraq, there was a substantial buildup of ground forces. And this is often thought to be, critical for any long-term operation. It can't just be air campaign. It has to include a ground component. Sometimes it can be a local ground component. That's what the U.S. did in Afghanistan with taking advantage of the Northern Alliance. But here, it's all air and missile strikes, and the hope is that the Iranian people will, in effect, become the ground force. So that's what struck me, is just the reliance very much on air and power, and not without a major ground component.
All right, Richard, thank you for now. Please stay with us as we continue to cover these fast-moving developments. Iran's foreign ministry has just issued a statement which reads in part, the attacks carried out by the Zionist regime and the United States against Iran are clear examples of armed aggression. It says this moment represents a historic test for the Iranian nation, relying on faith, unity, national determination. The people and armed forces of Iran will once again defend their homeland. History shows that Iranians have never surrendered to aggression. This time as well, Iran's response will be decisive and aggressors will regret their hostile actions. Ali Hashem has covered Iran extensively, is here with me in the studio, as is Mohanad Seloun from the Doha Institute of Graduate Studies. The Iranian response seems to be a very wide one. We're also hearing reports of explosions, a second loud bang heard in Abu Dhabi, as well as one now in Dubai and Riyadh.
The whole region.
Significant, Ali.
Actually, we are seeing now continuous retaliation from Iran towards Israel and towards the regional countries where that host American bases. But this is taking this whole.
But Dubai doesn't host American bases, from what I know.
We just heard now, Dubai.
Yeah.
So it seems this is getting really complicated. It's getting out of control in a way, and it's putting pressure not only on the United States directly, but on allies of the United States in the region.
Right, but can Iran sustain this, though?
This is the issue.
Yeah, can Iran sustain this? How clearly it's an initial, looks like anyway, an initial show of force by the Iranians saying, this is what we can do, but how long can this sustain?
This also risks that these countries might be retaliate towards Iran.
Do you think?
I mean, this is one of the possibilities. When Iran is attacking Saudi Arabia, there is a possibility that Saudi Arabia might retaliate.
Do we know? I know it's early days, and I'm putting you on the spot. Early hours, of course. Is a strike on explosion in Saudi Arabia, would that have come directly from Iran or Iran's allies, the Houthis in nearby Yemen?
Well, for now, we don't have any reports of activation of missiles or launch of missiles from Yemen.
I don't think there's been a confirmation on Saudi Arabia yet either. I don't think they've confirmed that they've been hit.
Contrary to what happened the last war, this time the Iranians are quick. It's clear that the command and control, despite who was killed in the first attacks, because what we know is that there were serious.
Yeah, it took like 24 hours for Iran to attack last time. They're not playing this time. They're ready to go. Ready to go, man.
Seloun, the Iranian response, as I said, has come quick, it's come fast, it's a wide one as well, given the countries that have been targeted. But is it a sustainable one?
Well, it is for now. I mean, Iran is a massive country after all, and they have the arsenal, they have the regional allies, at least in terms of non-state actors. And I can hear from, at least from social media statements coming out of Iraqi militias saying that we have been targeted in Jurf al-Sakhar and we will be responding to this attack. And basically, they are signaling that they are part of this war, but they are waiting for signal to come from Tehran, asking them to get involved. So I think that Iran has thought this out, and they would activate these cells only when they think that they cannot sustain attacks from inside Iran against regional
Right.
targets.
These regional countries are already, it looks like anyway, paying the price for the US and Israel's decision to strike Iran. Would the Americans have anticipated such a response?
Definitely. I mean, Iran had made this very clear. The supreme leader said that very clearly in Arabic, in English, in every language. It's going to be a regional war, and no one would be spared, and that we would be targeted the military installations of the U.S. and other Western countries, but as well as countries, who cooperate with these with the U.S. We might target their own installations, and that, with reference to countries that would contribute or support this war. And already Iran has named that Bahrain, UAE, and other countries in the region are collaborating with the U.S. and Israel against it, and they deem them as de facto enemies.
Right. Ali Hashem, it of course remains uncertain.
People are asking me, please. He was badly wounded. They already made, right, Scott? Very substantially down. This is a
He's
Breaking
vindicated.
news, multiple impacts in Abu Dhabi. Lee, I just sent you that video if you want to.
So guys, this is existential now for Iran. This is not anymore like kind of a tit for tat or escalation ladder or anything like that. It's full on. Everything's no red lines. We'll see a lot of shots, I think, in the coming days. It's going to be about how they distribute their firepower effectively, basically. So yes.
Also, there's real quickly, Hassan. Sorry, there's new alerts for the north of Israel. Pretty much the whole north along the border with Lebanon.
I'd say, and this is
Interceptor,
just a prediction. Go
sorry,
ahead.
interceptor missiles have been taken out over Dubai. Dubai is getting hit very hard right now.
Yes.
There is a massive. I'm just going to read that out. There's a massive explosion, and this is what Reuters is calling it, a massive explosion in Dubai. There's a blast heard in Dubai. The cause is unclear. Iran warns Israel as its missiles target multiple sites, and Iran says prepare for what is coming. They said there's going to be an open-ended retaliation as missiles have targeted Israel and U.S. assets in
Guys,
Bahrain,
sorry to
Kuwait,
cut
and
in,
the
but this
Gulf.
could be big. This one.
I thought these bases were supposed to be empty.
Yeah, for the most part, but there's still military personnel there. They still have to be occupied and filled to some degree.
Beatrix, because I can't delete the post from the nest, so
In Israel.
Wait, but Nathan, what did you say? What were you saying that was really big? What happened?
We're hearing that there could be possibly U.S. soldiers casualties in Bahrain.
Yeah, so someone on YouTube's Shadia saying, please mention that these are military bases. Absolutely. Just for clarification, in case somebody's confused, Iran is only targeting military sites. Um, so yeah, these are military bases.
Just breaking news. So we have reports of IRGC bases in Sanadija. I don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, and Damavaram in Tehran were struck by U.S. cruise missiles.
And it's just been confirmed, Nathan, by Al Jazeera that Saudi Arabia was hit. So Saudi Arabia was hit. I think Huda was giving you misinformation.
I told you. Listen to me. I'm gonna tell you right now. Those you have any idea how much vile crap I have to hear on the Israeli telegrams? It's terrible. But I do it for you guys for the news, and they do know quicker.
Yeah, but they weren't the first to report. It was reported by multiple channels, to be honest.
Um, there's a
Why are you
large,
trying to like rain on her parade and shit? You know what I'm saying?
large. Man, give me this, because you have any idea how much stuff I have to read in there? It's disgusting. Those people. Large squadrons of Israeli jets are now flying over the Iraqi space, headed right to
Yeah,
To
so I
be
was
clear,
just going
Mace,
to
I
read
wasn't
that.
rain. Sorry, go on.
No, no, really quickly. So 6 U.S. Air Force aerial refuelers have departed Tel Aviv Ben Gurion Airport. Two of them are already heading towards Iran's direction. So I think it's round whatever.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Also,
50 minutes
sirens
ago.
heard over Israel again. Sirens have been heard over Israel again. Another wave's coming.
And just to be clear, Mace, I wasn't trying to rain on her parade. I was stopping her from giving the Zionists credit.
Okay, guys, let's keep it on. Okay, no problem. Okay, let's what you call it again?
Al Jazeera just reported about the Dubai explosions. And Didi, you're getting love on YouTube. I never even get love on YouTube. You're getting love on the YouTube chat, Didi.
W
interceptions.
YouTube
Remember
chat,
that?
guys. We're
W
live on
YouTube.
YouTube as well. So guys, you can listen to it on YouTube. I think we've got like 1,200 people or something there. So you can listen to it on YouTube if you've been thrown out of this space or you've been thrown out of the speaker panel, or even if you're not, go to the YouTube, give it a like. I think we've got like 500-600 likes. Let's get it to 1,000 to make sure people, even on YouTube, are getting the real news and the real information. We dominated X last time. Right now, we've got the biggest space.
I don't know what's going on with this damn Twitter space. The shit just keeps the volume just keep going on it for some reason. I don't know what the fuck going on.
Iranians are just raining fire on the. There are unconfirmed reports that Iranian missiles are targeting the USS Abraham Lincoln. So that is, again, Didi said this about half an hour ago, but this is some more confirmation is coming out on that. Back to you, Beatrix.
Just real
We've
quickly,
got a super chat. Welcome, Yasmin Yusuf, really quickly to level one on YouTube. Thank you for subscribing, guys. If you want to support Suleiman and the work he does and his team does, there is a tweet in the nest here above where you can see Brother Mofet and Suleiman and myself. And there's various different ways you can support his work. We're also on YouTube. You can support there. We have a super chat from Lazaro Calderon. Thank you so much. €5. Anyone know the current position from China and Russia since they were conducting joint exercises days ago? I think we covered that earlier. No news from them yet. So yeah, absolutely. And thank you guys for all the comments. Make sure you like the YouTube. That's really important. We're going to keep the news coming thick and fast. Jump in if there's any breaking news, guys.
Sorry, I will. Dubai is reporting huge GPS, huge mapping. There's a lot going on in Dubai right now.
Yeah, I was gonna
Yeah, do
say
you
I
know,
would
every time
imagine
you
and
say that, I get sorry, breaking news that this is supposed to be some massive explosion, right? What is it? What's happened in Dubai?
Massive,
Because even Reuters is saying it's huge.
massive hits in Tehran right now too.
also I have an
Well, that's
update
not
on
Mario
the
Norfolk's building. It's
strikes.
Sorry, go ahead.
The airstrikes in Iraq were targeting the headquarters of the Popular Mobilization Forces south of Baghdad. Reports stating that one person was killed and 3 were injured. This is from
From
Reuters.
on the American Air
Okay.
Base?
No. The attack in Baghdad by the Americans, or either the Americans or the Israelis.
The IDF has conducted strikes against Iranian senior commanders and political leaders, including
Fuck.
Supreme Leader Khamenei.
Wow. Nigga, what?
Oh my god. Oh,
Yo.
dude, fuck me. A fucking missile actually got through. Oh, there's more. I gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah, they're definitely.
I'm waiting for some fun here, but I don't see nothing.
Bro, it says your account's in
So
North
just really
America.
quickly,
Stop being
guys,
an
we've
idiot.
got a super chat for £50 from Hussein Shafia, and he says, "Thank you for your live stream. It's very informative, much appreciated. Thank you very much." We've got Yalda Zada, who's become a level 1 subscriber to YouTube. Thank you very much. We've got a $4.99 super chat from somebody who has just done an emoji, but I appreciate the emoji as well. Thank you very much, guys. Keep the chat flying, keep it going. Make sure you like the stream, and yeah, if you want to support Suleiman, you can do it on YouTube or right here in the space here. There's a tweet in the nest about how you can support his work, and there's very
for a while, and it was really largely a symbolic effort. The Iranians had made clear before this conflict started now that they would not hold back this time, that they would act quickly, and that they would fire missiles not only at Israel but at the U.S. assets in the region. And there are 13 U.S. bases in the region, in the United Arab Emirates, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in Qatar, and in other places, along with about 40,000 troops. And we have been getting reports from around the region. In Bahrain, for example, the Bahrainis announced that a missile had hit the U.S. naval base there. This is the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet. In United Arab Emirates, we just got a word from the state news agency saying a person has been killed as the Emiratis were intercepting a missile from the Iranians. There's been the sound of explosions heard there as well in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And also a report that explosions were heard in Kuwait as well. So the Iranians do seem to be making good on their promise to make sure that they unleash the missiles that they have on those who are attacking them.
Barbara, to what extent will the US, will Donald Trump have consulted with those Arab leaders, with those Middle Eastern leaders before these strikes? Because he does have close relations, and of course he has all these bases in these countries, as you've just said.
His administration consulted extensively with them, and they were also very proactive in the 2 months leading up to this, trying to mediate a diplomatic solution to this crisis that Mr. Trump had essentially started, given that he had promised to intervene on behalf of protesters and then said, oh no, we're going to do a nuclear deal now, and if you don't agree to our terms, we'll attack you. So they had been very active in trying to prevent that from leading to a military confrontation, very worried about the consequences for the region, knowing that Iran would attack more broadly this time, but also this is a region that depends on oil and gas, and even if the oil supply is disrupted, that's a problem. But what if Iran would directly target oil and gas facilities? What will happen if the Iranian regime is the target of the strikes, which it turns out is the case? What would come next? Would it be something that would increase stability or decrease stability? And they have been looking at those examples of Iraq and Syria on their doorsteps. So they have been very active, and you're right, this administration has close ties with Arab leaders. You have not just political connections, but investment connections as well. But I think what's very clear in terms of what's happening now is that their advice is not the advice that Mr. Trump took. He took the advice of the Israelis.
Barbara, thank you. You're watching BBC News.
That's just insane.
Live from London, this is BBC News.
Wonder who else is reporting on this shit. I'm just gonna keep showing Trump so I can. Oh, where the fuck is the live? Why doesn't it say live? Yeah, man. This conflict is definitely it's getting real heated, real fast. An extended conflict is definitely gonna affect all of us in a way. Gas prices are gonna go up. Food prices are gonna go up. So we could definitely, if we are in this conflict for a long period of time, we'll definitely see negative effects from it. Let's hope it doesn't come to that, but you know, I don't know about you guys. I mean, this is what I voted for. No new wars and less woke shit, and it seems like we're getting a lot of fucking new wars. It's quite actually. Now I see this hour ago wasn't nobody reporting on this shit. Now everybody in the fucking everybody on the internet's reporting on this shit now.
More launches from Iran towards Israel, and that was just 2 minutes ago.
That's it, Mace. But I think his team's putting them out quite thick and fast. So if you can cover that, that would be
Yeah,
great.
I have his
I know
notifications on, so they pop right up for me.
Diamond, thank you. And DJ, I know you're getting them from your little Zio group chats or Telegram, so that's really
Yeah.
helpful.
So
And
I'm not hearing something good on Telegram from the Zio chats. They're saying that they're really crazy barrage being sent to Khomeini and the president of Iran. They're targeting anywhere and everywhere that they could be in insane style.
also, thank you to Hussein Shafi for his level 1 membership on YouTube. Really appreciate that. Guys, if you're on YouTube and you're whinging that we're actually thanking people who are supporting, then you need to get lost and go into somebody else's space, okay? Because we do thank people who are going to support. So that's a message for you. And anybody else who does that, I am going to give you time out because you're getting on my nerves. There's no audio on YouTube, Suleiman, so please can you fix that? People are complaining there's no sound at all. Israeli officials to Reuters, we have targeted Iranian essential personnel who are part of the plan to destroy Israel. We are still determining the success of the initial strikes on Iran. So I don't know who these essential personnel are. These are very, very broad terms. We saw the footage this morning, guys. They were just hitting civilian areas in the middle of Tehran. It's like hitting the middle of New York and saying, oh, we were hoping to find Trump there, you know, or hitting the middle of London and saying, oh, we were hoping that Keir Starmer was just wandering around those residential.
Man, Twitter is having some issues. I think it's too many people on Twitter right now because, like, what is going on?
Street somewhere. Jordanian army announced.
Like, it's skipping, it's videos is not.
Is anybody else seeing that?
It's big fucking news, man. Like,
I saw it within the next 5 hours.
It's fucking big news.
I didn't see a time. Did you?
They didn't say a time.
I'm pretty sure my shit.
I think the message he gave out on Truth Social, Suleiman, maybe just refresh the Twitter, YouTube. Sorry, I think the one that you Maze played on Truth Social. The fact that it was on Truth Social and it wasn't televised, I think it was pre-recorded. I think he went to freaking sleep.
Apparently
I think he scheduled that and went to sleep.
So apparently there's also an attempt to target former President Ahmadinejad.
CNN just came out with an article called "The Timing of the U.S.-Israel Attack on Iran bears symbolic meaning in Judaism," and basically starts comparing it to the Book of Deuteronomy that commands the ancient Israelites to remember an unprovoked attack by the nation of Amalek and to eradicate the memory of Amalek once the Israelites are settled in their land. So they're literally CNN's reporting that this is their war against Amalek.
Will bring them. That's wild. Just so you guys look in the nest, you're gonna see breaking. There was one person that was killed in the debris of Abu Dhabi, and then the other one that's up there is that breaking first image of the first hit in Abu Dhabi, and he's got the image up there for you. And if you guys can clear those three out the nest, I'll keep putting the new ones up. Go ahead, Nathan. And Noxie, I might need you to say that for me again after Nathan goes, because I feel like I missed the first part.
Oh, I already closed it out. I'm on to the next thing. It's a CNN article, and they were basically saying that this war.
I don't know why shit keeps shutting down, bro. I think it's just so many people are trying to watch this fucking coverage.
There have been strikes right across the country.
There's just so many people watching, man.
Attacks on American air bases in Bahrain. Explosions have been heard in Saudi Arabia, Kuwait, Qatar, and the United Arab Emirates.
Within the last 10 minutes, explosions overhead here in Jerusalem. Iran's retaliation has begun.
Sirens across Israel as a state of emergency is declared and Iranian missiles are intercepted over the country. In a statement, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says there is an existential threat against his country. Hello, I'm Samantha Simmons. You're watching BBC News with live coverage of our breaking news this hour. The United States and Israel are launching airstrikes across Iran. President Trump says the US and Israel have launched major combat operations. Donald Trump says the objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. He says Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he accuses the Republic of trying to rebuild its nuclear program. The president has also said there may be American casualties as a result of the operation dubbed
Imagine being able to build an app with your name on it.
You always want to make me watch a fucking commercial first, bro. Goddamn.
Have been intercepted successfully, and these visuals first broken to you on NDTV. These explosions reported not just in the UAE but Kuwait and Bahrain as well. The military operation against Iran has spilled over into a much wider region, and these dramatic pictures coming in from Bahrain, from UAE and from Kuwait. All right, so the very latest, in fact, that we're getting to you. Let's continue to stay with Aditya over there. And very important piece of information that Donald Trump is likely to address his country again. One, where he basically said that this was a regime change operation. Aditya, what is likely to be the content? What are you hearing about? Why, within a couple of hours, he has decided to make another address to the nation?
Well, we'll have to wait and watch what exactly is at play, because there is a message that Donald Trump has sent out through the military action and the strikes to the common people in Iran that sees this moment. This is the moment for you. And do you want democracy to be restored? Then you will have to certainly physically snatch that democracy away. And we can only aid in this entire process. But will that happen? Because there's a significant population that also is behind Ayatollah Khamenei, Pezeshkian, and several other Iranian leaders right now. We do not know the status of the top leadership, but we do know that they are all in hideouts right now, keeping safe away from these attacks that are happening in Tehran. It is certainly a regime change operation that Israel and Iran have been planning for a very long time, but I've been speaking to Israeli diplomats as well as intelligence who tell me that it's not easy. They do not expect instantly an Iranian takeover to take place because there's no substitute out here. Yes. There is Reza Pahlavi, but he is not out there, and there's no democratic substitute right now who can take the leadership or who has mass following right now in Iran. So it's not going to be physically, diplomatically, politically, or militarily easy for the US or Israel to just click a button and have perhaps a regime change out there. There has to be a successive military, operation.
Absolutely, and when you talk about a change to what? What follows that change? If the current regime is to be dislodged, what comes after? Zamir Jafri, scholar at the Al Mustafa University, is also joining us live now. Thank you very much, Mr. Jafri, for speaking to us. How do you see this panning out over the next few hours? Donald Trump has told people of Iran the hour of your freedom is at hand. What happens after that hour of freedom?
Are you with me?
Yes.
Are you talking to me?
Yes, Mr. Jafri.
Okay. Thank you very much for having me on the show. Your voice was not very clear, but what I understood was America is trying to bring about democracy in Iran. Wow. It makes me laugh. 34 million people came on 11th of February to support an Islamic government. Okay, and somebody sitting outside in other side.
That shit funny, bro. It look like a whole. That's a nigga, man. No, what nobody say? That is a nigga right there. Like what? Brody got the fro. Like what? That is a nigga. That's funny, man. He did not look like he would sound like that. That shit funny.
Country where there is no democracy. All these lies and all these propaganda. Till when are we going to repeat the Western propaganda like copy paste things?
Let's see what BBC say.
Largest military base in the region. It's the headquarters for the Central Command, and it was targeted in June during the 12-day war by the Iranians, but now only after they telegraphed it for a while, and it was really largely a symbolic effort. The Iranians had made clear before this conflict started now that they would not hold back this time, that they would act quickly, and that they would fire missiles not only at Israel but at the U.S. assets in the region. And there are 13 U.S. bases in the region, in the United Arab Emirates, in Kuwait, in Bahrain, in Qatar, and in other places, along with about 40,000 troops. And we have been getting reports from around the region. In Bahrain, for example, the Bahrainis announced that a missile had hit the U.S. naval base there. This is the headquarters of the U.S. Fifth Fleet. In the United Arab Emirates, we just got a word from the state news agency saying a person has been killed as the Emiratis were intercepting a missile from the Iranians. There's been the sound of explosions heard there as well in Abu Dhabi and Dubai. And also a report that explosions were heard in Kuwait as well. So the Iranians do seem to be making good on their promise to make sure that they unleash the missiles that they have on those who are attacking them.
Barbara, to what extent will Donald Trump have
Man, if this is a
consulted with
long-term
those Arab leaders, with
incident,
those Middle
long-term
Eastern leaders
conflict, man, expect
before these strikes? Because
gas prices
he
are going
does
to
have
go
close
up.
relations, and of course he
Food
has all
prices are
these
probably going to
bases in these
go up.
countries,
There's
as
going to
you've
be a
just
bunch of
said.
civil unrest. Who knows what could come from it? There
His
could be
administration consulted
sleeper
extensively with
cells
them, and
hitting
they
in
were
our
also
country.
very
Like,
proactive
you never know
in
what's going to happen.
the 2 months leading up to this,
Iran's been in charge
trying
of
to
the Middle
mediate
East for
a
a
diplomatic
long period
solution
of
to
time.
this
So
crisis that Mr. Trump
who knows what
had
kind of
essentially started, given that he had promised to
insurgents they
intervene on
have
behalf of
within our
protesters,
country,
and
bro.
then said, oh no,
There's
we're
tons
going to
of
do
Muslim
a nuclear deal
people.
now,
I'm
and if you
not
don't
saying
agree to our terms, we'll attack you. So
Iran's
they had
necessarily
been
fully at fault if that is
very
the
active
case,
in
because
trying to prevent that
they've been provoked and provoked
from
and
leading
pushed
to a
and
military
prodded
confrontation,
into
very worried about the
doing these things.
consequences for the region,
And
knowing that Iran would attack more broadly this time, but also
especially
this
with
is a region that depends on oil and gas.
the Palestine question never being answered fully. So, that's what kind of triggered a lot of this. But, I mean, Netanyahu's been going after these people since, what, I think 30, 40 years, 40 something years, bro. Saying, they're 1 month away from having a nuclear bomb, 1 month away from having a nuclear bomb. He's been saying this for fucking decades. Weapons of mass destruction. We got that from, he told us that, sent us to war in Iraq, it's just, I feel like it's just a part of their plan to become the, supreme hegemony in the Middle East. And, there's nothing even if we weren't going to attack them, they were going to attack them, and it was going to drag us into it no matter what, because we can't just let Israel get destroyed. We are owned and operated by rich Zionist billionaires. And we're kind of cut, to be honest. I don't know. I don't see a way, at least not in this presidency. Like I said, it's definitely not what I voted for. I voted for no new wars, and hopefully to end all the woke shit. But I'm very fucking disappointed. Very fucking disappointed, I'm not gonna lie. And it's not like Kamala Harris wasn't gonna do the same thing, to be honest, even if she did win. It's the left and the right wing for a reason, bro. It's just two halves of the same, two wings of the same fucked up ass bird, bro. Like, it doesn't matter who's fucking in charge. It's gonna be all fucked up either way.
The United States and Israel are launching airstrikes across Iran. President Trump says the US and Israel have launched major combat operations. Donald Trump says the objective is to defend the American people by eliminating imminent threats from the Iranian regime. He says Iran can never have a nuclear weapon, and he accuses the Republic of trying to rebuild its nuclear program.
They can get a pulse check. Let me tell you, it's not hard to get the sentiment of Americans. A pretty good solid statistical number on how much they would react to what he's doing. This is very calculated. He's not doing this like by taking a chance. People are just very docile right now, honestly. So I think they just said, you know what, we'll just reinvent the last issue that we had, couple it with we want to go there to save people to kind of offset the negative side. And that's why I think he's doing it.
So
I
yeah,
think
he
my
posted he posted Iran tried to
questions.
interfere in the 2020 and the 2024 elections to stop Trump and now faces renewed war with United States.
Well,
5 students
on the
killed
off
in
chance that they
Iran
did,
from
they're
a girls'
vindicated
school.
because Trump exists to destroy Iran. That's why he was elected in 2016 to tarnish the JCPOA, the Joint Comprehensive Plan of Action that was introduced by Obama, a plan that was eventually going to lead to peace in the Middle East and halt Iran's nuclear enrichment. So if they did get involved in the election, it was probably because they saw this day coming. But that's just granting his stupid argument.
Just
I
really
think
Just
five
quickly,
people
just
were
thanks,
look
killed.
up
Riyadh.
US
Israeli
base.
military will call up, just 1 second, sorry, Suleiman. Israeli military will call up 70,000 reserve soldiers, and that's breaking news.
US base in Iraq has also been hit. US base in Iraq in the Kurdistan area has been hit as well
And
by the
just a quick,
Iraqi
I've got some big
resistance.
sorry.
breaking here myself. So, Iranians have been told to evacuate Tehran, which suggests that they believe this is going to last a while here.
Also, they have denied that any Iranian commander has been killed. Also, that's coming out as well as a statement. Iranian army denies the assassination of any commander in the army.
All right, guys, check the nest for the latest posts that I just put up there, and looks like they were removed. So UAE reserves the right to respond to the Iranian missile attack. And then there's a video of Trump in 2011. Our president will start, and this is where he's talking about Obama, I believe. Yeah, our president will start a war with Iran because he has no ability to negotiate. He's weak and he's ineffective. Well, that didn't age well. Make sure you guys post that one, repost it. And then breaking the air defense systems activated in Iran capital in Tehran.
Oh,
Israeli jets
also
over
the
Lebanon
operation.
again.
Sorry, the operation has been named True Promise 4. Just I don't know if anyone's mentioned that yet.
Which one?
The operation by
The
Iran,
Iranian retaliation.
yeah, it's been labeled True Promise 4.
Really? I thought it was the Fatah.
Saudi Arabia just
No, that's the name of the operation. Maze. Remember, it was True Promise 1, the first retaliation, then the second retaliation was True Promise 2 and 3, and now we're 4 now.
Oh, gotcha.
five Iranian students were killed. It looks like at a girls' school.
That's horrible. I wonder, they haven't really been reporting on any casualties like that. Is that the only numbers that we got so far?
I saw some in Iraq. I think I saw 2 in Iraq. I thought I saw 1 in Bahrain, but I'm not sure.
Also, we have reports of new Iranian ballistic missile launches. A new batch just been launched.
Yeah, just about to say that. Yeah.
Actually, they're saying that this is the highest threat to southern Israel yet. Beersheba, Ashkelon, Ashdod, and Ishmael.
Have you guys seen any updates on what they're doing with the Gulf of Oman and Straits of Hormuz?
I haven't seen anything on that, but I have got a statement here, and I don't know if it was Riyadh who was asking about this, but it says the Saudi Foreign Ministry condemns Iranian attacks on the UAE, on Bahrain, on Qatar, on Kuwait, and Jordan. Now, this is quite interesting that the Saudi Foreign Ministry has not mentioned Riyadh and Saudi in this. Isn't that interesting?
That is
Also,
very
they've
interesting.
another statement came out. They vowed to support them. Also, I don't know what that means, but yeah, the summary of the I'm summarizing a bit, but they've come out stating that they're going to support them also.
Well, what I'm curious to see, and the reason that I had previously asked that question is I want to see if the Gulf countries are going to respond with condemnation to Iran and the IRGC, or rather condemnation to the United States and Israel, because depending on how you slice it and the ideological backing or the centering, they can blame either one. And in them blaming either party, that'll really show us where the region is going to go in the next few decades. But that's why I was curious. Obviously, the UAE condemned Iran and swore to attack again, but we know they're closely aligned with Israel, so there's no surprise there.
I just have a quick update also. So a person that was killed in Abu Dhabi, they're saying that it was after an interception. So it could have been from fallen debris. That's another thing I wanted to mention also before.
See what ABC has to say. I'm sure it's going to be more of the same.
I learned from senior officials weeks ago that the president wanted a no nuclear enrichment. They wanted limits on supporting proxy forces, as well as caps on long-range ballistic missiles. I mean, these are issues that have long been red lines for the Iranian regime. So with the idea that a deal could be reached in such a condensed period of time was always seen as quite unrealistic from the very beginning of this. The president has also, throughout this weeks of threats, as we have seen more military assets sent to the region with, the president also did not lay out a clear rationale for why military action may be necessary. More recently, including at the State of the Union, the president made claims that Iran was building a long-range missile that had capabilities of reaching the United States, but the president has not provided evidence to the...
I'm like, bro, what's going on? Yeah, so I woke up at 1 a.m., went to go drive for a while. Drove to like 11 a.m. Came home, took a nap from like 2 to 4. Went to the gym, and I went to go drive some more, so I'm a little tired. Been up, what time is it now? 3 in the morning, so I've been up like 24 of the last 28 hours. Yeah, I've been up for a while. Running on a little gas in the tank. But I'm at least cover this until my camera dies, probably, or till my girl get here and then she start making noise and shit, fucking up my stream. So I'm sure it's gonna happen.
The public that is in fact the case.
Selena, we did have this statement, this video statement from the president this morning, and these words getting a lot of attention already when President Trump said the lives of courageous American heroes may be lost and we may have casualties. To your point, the president was briefed recently from his top military officials just this week about his options in Iran. And this morning, the president also laying out more in terms of that justification, a variety of reasons as to why he decided to act now.
Absolutely, and the American public, again, only getting this justification after these strikes have already begun, but it is a very expansive justification. For the last few weeks, as a member of the White House press corps, we've been repeatedly pressing the president and the White House about what is the president's end game here. Is it about nuclear weapons? Is it about the long-range ballistic missiles? Is it about regime change? And the president made very clear in his speech that it's about all three. And he explicitly called on the Iranian people to seize this opportunity for regime change. So that makes it very clear that this is very different from when you and I were on the air for breaking news last summer, when the president had launched those targeted strikes aimed at nuclear facilities. I mean, this is much broader than that. And you pointed out really one of the most striking moments from the president's remarks in this video he posted on social media that was about 8 minutes, where he warned the American people that there could be casualties here. And he himself used the word war, quote, that often happens in war. This is a president who had campaigned on ending wars, on not getting Americans and American troops involved in these long, protracted conflicts, especially in the Middle East. Yet this is now one of several interventionist moves we have seen from the president, right? Venezuela, just a few months ago, ousting the former president Nicolas Maduro. Now this, coming after those strikes of last summer with.
Selena, speaking of those strikes last summer, when we were both on the air in June, the president said at the time that the nuclear facilities were totally obliterated. So now here we are again, a strike that seems to be even more wide scale. Was there some word that the White House was getting? What were they saying in terms of how far along Iran was coming in their nuclear capabilities.
Right, and this is a point of clarity we've been trying to reach with the president and the White House for weeks now, because you're right, for months the president has been touting that operation, Midnight Hammer, those bunker-busting bombs dropped on those nuclear sites buried deep underground. The president has been saying that those sites were completely obliterated. Yet one of the key justifications for this military operation is around its nuclear weapons program. And what we've heard from the president is that this is in order to stop them from trying to rebuild, from trying to redevelop their nuclear program. But again, the justification goes beyond that. This is also about their ballistic missile program. This is also about regime change. And the president has yet to provide clear evidence to the public of what they've exactly seen when it comes to the rebuild of this nuclear program, as well as I mentioned earlier, on those long-range ballistic missiles. So still a lot of questions here, for members of Congress, of course, but also for the American public. And just as a reminder, our latest ABC News Washington Ipsos poll found that the majority of Americans disapproved of how the president has been handling foreign policy. So there will be questions about this very interventionist move, the decision to take this military action, again, at a time when the president had vowed that he would not enter these sorts of long, protracted conflicts.
And especially, as you point out, if there are any American casualties as a result of all this.
I mean, there's a very good chance that this could not be a long conflict. I mean, if Israel's getting bombed too fucking much, then we're gonna have to step up our tactics, and we'll probably end up threatening Iran with a fucking nuke, which isn't good. And if we do end up going the nuke route and attempting to nuke them, then we're all gonna be fucking dead, which would, that'll be that. The end of it. So let's hope that doesn't happen, because Russia's already said if Iran gets nuked, they're nuking whoever nukes them, and if Russia nukes us or Israel, then we're gonna have to nuke Russia, and then China's gonna nuke us probably as well. So I mean, it just wouldn't be fucking nukes flying all around. We're all gonna fucking die. That'll be fucking stupid, right? Let's hope it doesn't fucking come to that shit.
The Gulf. Expect the U.S. forces to do their battle damage on the initial attacks of the targets for this initial attacks that went on, and after they do the battle damage, or as they go through the second wave of attacks, expect the U.S. to continue to hit their key command and control facilities, hit their ballistic missile sites, and hit their ability to generate any kind of air assets against our folks.
Let's talk more about what you expect to see from Iran, because President Trump tonight talking to the Iranian people, saying that the hour of your freedom is at hand, saying when we are finished, take over your government. It will be yours to take. This will probably be your only chance for generations. In this scenario in which we've already seen the Iranian regime brutally crack down on any unrest, protesters in the streets, could this be a scenario in which the Iranian government feels desperate and acts out in an extreme response that triggers a much longer regional war?
Yeah, that's kind of what I was alluding to in terms of a complex coordinated attack across multiple fronts, instead of just single missiles going into Qatar and Al Udeid like we saw at the conclusion of the 12-day war. Expect that Iran could be attacking Kuwait, our forces that we have in Saudi Arabia, in Bahrain, Qatar, United Arab Emirates, etc. And again, maybe emboldening its proxies to take attacks, much more locally against our forces, attacking into our forces that we have in Jordan. And then, of course, bringing Israel into it and attacking our forces, Israeli and U.S. forces that we have in the country of Israel. So much more broader, complex. Iran still has the ability to launch hundreds, if not thousands, of ballistic missiles. And so again, that's what the U.S. forces will be targeting, is to try to reduce or incapacitate Iran's ability to launch those ballistic missiles, those drones, or cruise missiles.
And when we talk about potential regime change in Iran, is that even possible without American troops on the ground? Are the people able to take the country themselves, as the president suggested?
Yeah, the will of the Iranians is really going to be on the effectiveness of our targeting, of our strikes.
And that's what the U.S. and Israel are really hoping for. They hope if they put enough pressure on the Iranian people and bomb the shit out of them. And I think they've already killed one the Israeli defense minister. I think they killed him. That's what was reported, but or not Israeli, Iranian defense minister.
And one last question for you.
But it's been
they've
said this a couple times. They acted like the man died one time and he wasn't dead. So
when was the last time we've seen a buildup in the Middle East?
It's just a tactic that they use.
Yeah,
they're just trying to put enough pressure on the Iranian people so that they try to force a rise in insurrection or a rise up of the militia groups that are within Iran.
If you kind of want to look at the classic deterrence,
they want to see if they'll rise up and take the government for
the
themselves.
To impose unacceptable cost,
and then
deny the adversary path of his attacks,
Iran's exiled former leader would probably be the one to take power because he's very friendly with the West, and he's very.
Going forward with,
I mean, even though he said that he would have to have discussions with people to see where he would align, but he is friendly with the West as it is, and if they were going to help him get his country back, I'm pretty sure he wouldn't be opposed to making.
Once again, to our viewers
nice
at home,
with
we're
us
watching
in
this
Israel.
developing situation in Iran as the U.S. and
Similar
Israel
to like
are
Saudi
launching
Arabia,
a wide-scale attack on Iran,
India,
in Tehran, military assets, government assets. Some of the early images just coming in, you see here of smoke billowing. I believe this is Tehran. We've also heard word that smoke was seen at one of the buildings used by the Ayatollah Khamenei, the supreme leader of Iran, although no word on his whereabouts at this time. In fact, he really hasn't been seen publicly for a couple of days. We're going to go back to Lama Hassan in London because we've been getting global reaction. And Lama, you were also reporting earlier as we're getting word of some of the military installations across the region, the UAE saying that a civilian was killed as a result of fallen debris as air defense systems dealt with the missiles, the height of the efficiency, and they intercepted some of those missiles. But this is just an example that Iran is responding right now, and we're going to see incidents like this across the region.
Absolutely, Whit. You know, the Iranians did say that they were going to respond with force, and we are seeing that. I have relatives who live in the region. I have relatives who live in Qatar, in Abu Dhabi, in Dubai, and all morning they have heard those Iranian missiles overhead, but they've also heard them being intercepted. So that is really the latest from what I'm hearing from relatives on the ground. They said that the missiles were so loud that the windows to their homes were shaking, and they're all hunkering down right now, trying to stay put, trying to find shelter as the Iranians respond to the Israeli-US strikes.
And Lama, we've seen airspace in multiple areas closed down this morning as this strike is ongoing, and also Americans told to shelter in place.
Yeah, that's right. You know, we heard this morning that the U.S. Embassy in Qatar has issued a statement telling not only U.S. personnel, because don't forget that that Qatar has the biggest U.S. base called Al Udeid. And remember, Iran launched a barrage of attacks during the last war, the 12-day war that took place in June, and they told them to shelter in place. We've also heard that, Iranian missiles were launched towards Dubai as well as Abu Dhabi. The ones that were launched towards Doha, we understand that they were intercepted by the Patriot defense system. That is what the Qatari government has said. The Qatari government has also issued an alert telling residents to shelter in place as well. They've been on high alert, given the massive military troop buildup in the region. The Qatari government also has an emergency phone alert system. They learned from the last time when the Iranians launched the barrage of missiles towards Al Udeid. They have since put in this telephone warning system that has a very loud noise, just warning people to shelter in place. There have been multiple explosions in Kuwait. I've mentioned Abu Dhabi as well. And just to also reiterate just how difficult this is for the residents that are going through.
The UK calls for its citizens in the Gulf countries, Bahrain, Kuwait, Qatar, and UAE, to shelter in place. They're a bit freaking late, isn't it? Our government has just given this notice to all of us now, after 2 hours of the Middle East being on
Wow.
fire, saying if you're there, please get some shelter somewhere, whatever.
Also, just real quickly, I want to throw out that there is conflicting reports on who's been killed. So a senior Iranian official is being quoted as having told Reuters that commanders of the Revolutionary Guard and political leaders were killed in the attacks. So I just want to throw out that there's a lot of conflicting reports, and also I wanted to mention this. We have to understand that the media could be intentionally or being fed misinformation themselves to feed the information warfare on the information radio waves. Just so you guys understand that they do propagate a lot of misinformation to intentionally, cause chaos and confusion. Also,
Breaking news: explosions heard near main airport in Abu Dhabi and large amount of.
Like I said, the Iranians are notorious for just going with the report saying, "Oh yeah, they killed this person, they killed such and such," and then this nigga pop up fucking 3 weeks later, like nigga, we thought you was dead, bro. Like what the fuck? So don't be surprised if they said they killed the niggas and them niggas ain't really dead. Don't be surprised.
Occurs again in southern Israel.
Okay.
and just a quick update on the attack on Ahmadinejad's residence. So the Israelis are being quoted as stating that he was not a target, that his residence wasn't a target. So I'm just trying to throw out there so that we understand that there is like both sides saying, conflicting reports, just so that people don't think that we're just spewing one side or the other.
Thanks for that.
Thank you, Nathan.
So we got some more reports, which is more drones and missiles have been launched towards the Gulf and Israel. So more drones and missiles launched towards the Gulf and Israel.
Awesome. Trump is going to give an address. He did not specify the time yet, but he said he will give one on Saturday morning, according to Axios.
Axios being the Israeli arm.
This is why I prefer to like watch these spaces and stuff because these people
Get your
they
domain
have
name even if you're not ready
inside
to launch your
information.
business. With Wix,
They
you can
know
grab yours
people
now.
that are living in these areas and people that report from these areas, and they have a better. They're not owned by the typical media, so they report these things and they'll report back to these guys and they'll let us know what's actually happening on the ground in these areas, which is good. That's why I like 2026 is not the same as 2002, bro. It's not the same as the Iraq War. We're gonna know a lot more. We're gonna see things happening in real time, and we're the word I'm looking for. I don't know, but we're a more connected world. Like we can see what's happening in Australia. We can see what's happening in France. We can see what's happening in Germany. Like, and it's not. You can see what's happening in real time in these places, and it's kind of a good thing. Bad thing for other people because you get to see their crimes in real time, or you can see their degeneracy in real time. But I feel like it's a good thing. 2026 is an amazing time to live in, and I hope these fuckers don't ruin it with this fucking international warfare bullshit.
And hundreds of thousands of Iranians are out in the street protesting. And I just AI'd it. Like I checked to see when this picture was taken, and it was taken months ago. They're insane. And it was a pro regime protest.
Also, Israel Today is being quoted as saying the security institution believes that it has been successful in the assassination of the IRGC commander, the defense minister, and the head of the intelligence staff. But it says also, unfortunately, news is being heard. However, patience is required, and speculation should be avoided until an official statement.
Could very well be true, but it's just going to take so long for developments to become clear. But let it be known, Israel is very good at calculating attacks on military officials. You know, they proved that in the last 2 years or 24 months, really. So hopefully it's not true, but there's a good chance there's some validity or weight to that.
Just real quickly, so there are reports of about 100 missiles being launched or have been launched from Iran towards the occupied territories of Israel. This is
There's
unconfirmed
also
reports.
blasts heard all over Abu Dhabi and airport, and the cause of it is unclear. This was 1 minute ago.
Also, just real quickly, just to add into context, when reports state that the launches are headed towards Israel, they also could be headed towards other targets also, and that's what we've seen because in initial attacks on the Gulf states, a lot of these launches were reported as being launched towards Israel. So we have to keep that in mind also, guys.
We've been getting a series of alerts about incoming attacks coming into Israel across a huge expanse of this land, north, south, towards Tel Aviv. Just had a message saying missiles reported on their way to the west bank of Israel, which is of course occupied territory, Palestine, as seen by most governments. Now, about 25 minutes ago, we saw a series of intercepts in the sky above Jerusalem. Booms, we just had a large boom coming from over in that direction, and these sirens suggest that they feel that there are missiles coming over in this direction. Now, generally, Iran would not be targeting Jerusalem for the reason that area over there, the Al-Aqsa Mosque, is one of the holiest sites in Islam. But there are missiles that come over here. In fact, if you look there, that is the side of a missile intercept. So that is an Iranian missile that has been flown across here, probably towards a different target, but which has been intercepted by Israeli air defense. And that is what we are seeing in the skies above Jerusalem, are the booms of intercepts of missiles in this sky. The situation here, that's another loud boom you're hearing there of a missile being intercepted here. The situation here, of course, has escalated very, very rapidly. This morning from 8 o'clock to about 3 hours ago, when the first siren sounded, that was a preemptive siren to warn Israelis that military action was imminent and that they were likely to be asked to take shelter. And then just 3 hours later, we now know that Israel and the United States coordinated a military attack. There's another intercept that you just see there. You see that puff of, large puff of grey smoke? That is the scene of another interception. Very large boom we just heard in the skies above us, above Jerusalem. And so this is the cacophony. And that's another trail there, and you can hear a jet flying overhead. It's a cloud cover over Jerusalem today. You see that large plume of smoke there from another interception. This is the soundtrack to Israel at the moment, and that's another element to it. Just that chiming sound you can hear is the alert that is now played out on mobile phones and devices across this country. That is a warning that is sent out on apps on people's phones and other devices, warning them of incoming missiles and telling them to take shelter. As you can see, my team and I are all in protective equipment. At a very, very loud intercept there. That doesn't feel as if that one is too far away. These are some of the loudest booms and interceptions that we've heard so far this morning. And Israel is a tense country right now. In fact, I'm looking there. There is a plume of smoke that is just rising from a scene just, well, that is not far away from us at all. The smoke that you can see rising there, we don't know what has caused that, but that is a venue down there which is used as a concert venue over the course of summer here in the heart of Jerusalem, and there is now smoke pouring out from that. That is just in the shadow of the old city of Jerusalem. That is extraordinarily near to some of the holiest sites in Christianity and Islam. We'll find out what has happened there, but that is smoke pouring out from there, and that followed on, as you heard, from the sound of
looks like something fell there,
in the
probably
skies
missile parts
above Jerusalem.
from the
You'll be well aware that that is an air raid siren that is being activated
after
once
it
again.
intercepted it.
So we're looking around us all the time to see
It doesn't look
what is
like an
happening in these skies.
explosion.
Let me tell you that
It looks
also
like, something
Israeli military
fell out the sky
sent forces
and
up to the
hit
border
right
with
there.
Lebanon to preempt Hezbollah potentially joining this attack. But forces in Syria as well. And clearly, as we know, what has preempted all of this is a coordinated attack by Israeli and American forces on Iran. Iran always said that it would respond. It said that it would that there would be a regional conflict if it were attacked. And we are receiving reports of attacks not just on Israel, but also reports in Bahrain, the UAE, and other places in the region. So at the moment, this feels as if things are escalating extremely quickly. There's still traffic moving on the roads along there. I don't see any emergency response yet to that, but we can certainly also hear more thuds in the distance, more sounds of intercepts in the skies above us. Maybe you can hear those thuds beyond the cloud cover at the moment, because the clouds are relatively low. You can't necessarily see those interceptions. What you then see sometimes is the smoke after them.
خدا خدا یا خدا خدا وای وای یا خدا یا امام حسین شهر موشکی جمع زیدن شهر موشکی.
I hope there was no Russians in there, because that could be an international conflict. If there were Russians in that building, man, we could be in for more than just a fucking war with Iran, bro. That's why this is more. It's more than just Iran versus the Israel versus United States, man. It's a whole fucking, everything's intertwined. Iran's getting technology from China, planes from China, missiles from China. They're getting scrambling equipment to scramble signals and radar and stuff from Russia. It's a whole, China and Russia's not going to let Iran fall, because they have strong interest in there. And if Iran falls and West friendly regime gets in, then it's probably going to be even more conflict after that. So let's hope that doesn't happen. I mean, I don't want this to happen at all. Fuck war. War doesn't solve any fucking thing. War just causes more war. So, I mean, pray for peace. That's all we can do is pray for peace right now.
Aragachi called Iraq's Foreign Minister Fuad Hussein to inform him that Iran will be targeting U.S. military bases in the region, according to the Iraqi Foreign Ministry's statement published on their website. One of those bases is Iraq's northern Kurdistan region. The Iraqi statement said Mr. Aragache had clarified that these attacks were not targeting the countries involved, but were limited to military sites.
Sully, I sent you in the group chat.
Yeah, Iran's been targeting American military sites in the Middle East all morning. What is it, Bahir, or whatever it's called in Qatar. I guess there's a U.S. base in Saudi Arabia. They've been attacking there. There was a report that they actually attacked one of our ships. I haven't seen any updates on that, but there was a report saying that they actually attacked one of our ships. And of course, they're attacking Israel. We have several bases in Israel. Dohar. Qatar. Well, that's where Dohar is. Yeah, I think that's it. Yeah, they've been attacking us all over.
The Iranian army public relations says the commander-in-chief of the Iranian army, Major General Amir Hatami, is completely safe and performing his duties.
Yeah, so that was what I said, isn't it? I said that the Israelis sometimes what they do is they make up that someone's been killed and a key general's been killed, and the reason they do it is so that it gets reported, and then when it gets reported, that general's like, oh, guess what? I'm still alive, and then they'll get the communication, and then they will find out his location and then try and kill him. So that's literally the game. So if there's any claims like that, if you can send it to me and not say it on the space, because I don't want to be the reason for like something like that being reported, and then a general being murdered based on us reporting that, because we have got a lot of people listening. What is like nearly, I think we've got what 10,000 here and about 2,000, 1,500 on the YouTube. So just for that reason, if you can give me that information, that'd be awesome. Let's go to more news.
The only reason I started thinking
Yeah,
because
it's
I
not
was
an attack on
sending
you.
to
It's fine. It makes
yeah
sense. It
yeah
makes sense. But no problem. No problem. You don't
yeah
have to be
yeah
defend.
yeah.
Like it's fine.
Sorry.
It's fine. Yeah, no, it's fine. No problem. We also have major hits. Rocket fragments fell in the Marj al Hammam area in Jordan. We also have, and I'm going to tweet this out in a second, sirens are sounding in Netanya in the north of Ashdod, in the south, and in Tel Aviv. And then we've got rockets pounding Erbil. Oh my god, they're getting hit hard. Iran has launched 35 ballistic missiles towards Israel since the morning. And guess what, guys? They've got 200,000. If you watch my YouTube, I explain how they've actually got 200,000.
Wow.
Getting reports that like the U.S. consulate was the target of attack.
Yeah, Iran has the capability to make 300 missiles a month, 300 ballistic missiles a month. They make them all in house. They're like $20,000 a piece to create, and the missiles that Israel is shooting them down with cost like $1 million a piece. I think they're only making like 90 a year. I think they've upped it to like 400 a year, but it hasn't even been a fucking year since the last conflicts we were having. So how many missiles have they actually made? They burned through a lot of the interceptor missiles on the last conflict, the 12-day war. How many missiles do they actually have left, and how long can they sustain this onslaught? I guess we'll find out.
Down on your X display, please, so that the audience can see the speaker panel. And also, Silver Sailor, thank you so much. 2 lots of memberships, 10 memberships, and 1 membership granted by Silver Sailor. Guys, if you want to, you can please go and follow the YouTube, become a member, subscribe to Suleiman's channel there, and you can support Suleiman. The tweet, if you go up in the nest, there's a tweet in the nest as to how you can support his work. But do definitely click on the YouTube link, give it a thumbs up, and thank you so much. Silver Sailor, for your paid memberships that you've given. And we'll keep reading out the news from the YouTube chat, which is live as well. People are not happy with Trump at all. Not at all. There's Americans on there saying, this is disgraceful. This is our money going into this. And you know what? What really hit home with them is that statement from the IDF, which is saying that America and Israel have gone to war because Iran was a threat to Israel. And they've only mentioned themselves in their statement. Only themselves. They're not mentioned.
This is not what the fuck I voted for.
So the Saudi Foreign Ministry says that we condemn and denounce the Iranian aggression and the blatant violation of the sovereignty of UAE, Bahrain, Qatar, and Jordan.
Nathan, I feel like you've turned into Suleiman, because I literally read that out 10 minutes ago, and I think you're just not hearing the chicks on this space.
Yeah, he's just
I
trying to
mean, but
steal
to be
my
fair,
thunder
you
too.
guys do
That's
that
the
all the
point.
time. You guys do that like 80% of the time. We don't say anything about it, but it's okay.
We
You
listen
can
to the
have you
guys.
can have a
Go
jab at me. It's
jump in.
cool. You can jab at
It's
me.
okay. It's okay, Nathan. It's just
The,
no problem.
the men on
Okay.
this panel have got selective hearing. Maze, jump in.
Right, we've got some more breaking news. The tweet is just going out, so I know Miz is gonna be putting it in the nest in a second once it goes out. But basically, what's the actual tweet? Rockets pound Erbil. Rockets are pounding Erbil right now.
Them niggas be hearing womp 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 womp.
Erbil's airport is
Sirens
showcasing impacts of debris.
Straight Charlie Brown teacher.
Where's the debris, Noxie?
Erbil's airport.
Okay.
Sirens in Tel Aviv with loud explosions. Loud explosions. That should be going out soon. Maze, what were you going to say, love?
Well, both of those are up there in the
Yeah, we was looking
nest.
at that earlier. That dude that
The
was
one
reporting on
of
all them bombs going off behind him.
the one that you just read, and then also the rocket fragments fell in. Did you just read that one in Jordan, in Hammam area of Jordan? The footage is up there. So if you guys wanted to actually see it, you can go up there and make sure you share it.
Bahrain has fired interceptor missiles against Iranian missiles, and there's footage of that. It should be coming out in a second. Suleiman's team are just looking at that. Massive explosions, folks. Smoke plume after U.S.-Israeli.
This nigga done found him a missile, and he just cruising through Palestine with that shit on the back of it, bro. Just dragging it on shit. Dragging missile parts down
Bound, northwest Iran. New explosions have been reported in Doha, in Qatar. This comes shortly after Qatar's defense ministry said it had downed all missiles targeting the country in a second wave of attacks. Getting out of hand, man.
Also, the reports that the blasts that were heard in Tel Aviv were interceptions above Tel Aviv, and then also the reports of massive traffic jams outgoing from Dubai.
Well, there you go. You stole my thunder again. But the footage is in the nest for the traffic jams in Dubai. And there's the one for the Erbil. And now that's
Trump
as well.
Sorry, the Trump Telegram channels keep saying it's going to be a major announcement. Is anybody else hearing that from any of the legacy media?
Yeah, that's the one where they haven't determined the time, right? Where he's going to give an address, or do you mean?
Also have Chief of Staff Abdulrahim Musavi. I cannot say whether or not he is alive, but I mean, I'm assuming that this is a list of all the people that survived. Supreme National Security Council Secretary Ali Larjani, Defense Council Secretary Ali Shamkhani. These are all the main decision makers and players in the Iranian defense and intelligence space. They are all targeted. We know for a fact that Masoud Pezeshkian, the president, the supreme leader, Ayatollah Khamenei have survived. We also know that the foreign minister, Araghchi, has survived. Here we also have footage out of Kuwait showing that there was a successful strike. Impact was made in Kuwait. Very clear there. So, yes, it has officially started in a very big way, but it seems as though the initial Israeli-U.S. attack
the Iranian authorities and the Iranian army. Iran this time around is sure that this is a sustained campaign and that is probably having the target of regime change. So it is an existential war for them, an existential war for the Iranian government and also the Iranian people. Across the country, there have been strikes in several cities that some of them you have mentioned, and also we have casualties among civilians in Minab, that's in Hormozgan. There has been an attack on a school for girls. The preliminary report talks about 5 students killed, but now we have reports from several sources talking about probably more than 30 people killed.
Good morning to all of you in the United States. Good morning, good morning.
This is different.
Someone says these U.S.-Israeli strikes were small. Don't you think that's odd? Are they trying to save ammo? What do you think? No, I think they just wanted to tip it off, right? and they weren't necessarily small. Look at this crater. I mean, that is a huge crater that they dropped, and these were strikes to try and target Pezeshkian. They tried to target one of the places, locations in which the Ayatollah. I mean, that is a huge. That is several craters, first of all, that you can see there. That is huge, and that was targeting the Ayatollah, Pezeshkian, Larijani. I mean, it's not that they were doing just like we're gonna carpet bomb the whole country, the whole capital or something. These were targeted strikes on the leadership of Iran, and they failed.
This and also the in terms of the people.
What did I say, man? The fucking Iranians, they be playing chicken. You'll think you got their ass, and they'll just pop up a couple days later like, hey, nigga, you missed. That's what they do. They're really good at it.
Defense missile trying to protect the home of Shamkhani when he's not even there.
And that's going to be bad news for the Americans and the Israelis, who have been betting on two things. One, that probably they're going to kill the top leadership during this attack. And two, that maybe this attack will pave the way for those who are against the regime to take action and to try to change the regime.
Now, Mohammed, you mentioned last June and what happened when there were strikes against Iran then. Iran went into these negotiations with the United States saying that that is very much at the forefront of their mind. We heard them repeat over and over again that they are ready for peace talks, but they are also ready for war. And as such, I wonder, can you tell me, I would assume that in the making of these...
We now have photos. I can't show you the photos, but the Epstein regime murdered a boy playing in a schoolyard. 5 girls at another school in Iran in Manab City were also unalived. 5 young girls and 1 young boy were unalived at schools in the country in Iran.
No top commanders or any top leaders of the country have been taken out or killed during these attacks. It's very clear that the country has been in full preparation mode for this war. They have been expecting it any minutes, and they have been trying to make sure that the scenario of June doesn't repeat itself this time around, because they know that the main guarantor of stability in the country amid this conflict, amid this war.
But folks, it's unbelievable. The guy talks for almost 2 hours, but never mentions the anniversary of Putin invading Ukraine. Never once. I spent a lot of time in Ukraine. I've met with Putin more than any other world leader has.
No, the fuck, this nigga didn't meet with Putin one damn time. The whole regime didn't meet with Putin one damn time the whole fucking time.
Are we leaving them?
Why they got Joe Biden's old ass up here talking anyway?
He doesn't apologize. By the way, you see Trump give the State of Union last night?
Not the niggas getting a scuffle. Yeah, no. Niggas scuffling and shit. Is that Edward Snowden? Fuck this nigga been.
Negotiations, if your friends are in any way different from what the government or the powers that be of the moment would like them to be, you're no longer able to purchase train tickets. You're no longer able to board an airplane. You may not be able to get a passport. You may not be eligible for a job. You might not be able to work for the government. All of these things are increasingly being created and programmed and decided by algorithms. And those algorithms are fueled by precisely the innocent data that our devices are creating all of the time, constantly, invisibly, quietly, right now. Our devices are casting all of these records that we do not see being created, that in aggregate seem very innocent. You were at Starbucks at this time. You went to the hospital afterwards. You spent a long time at the hospital. After you left the hospital, you made a phone call. You made a phone call to your mother. You talked to her until the middle of the night. The hospital was an oncology clinic. Even if you can't see the content of these communications, the activity records, what the government calls metadata, which they argue they do not need a warrant to collect, tells the whole story. And these activity records are being created and shared.
Yeah, I mean, everybody knows we being watched 24/7, 365. Nothing you do is private. They want your ass, they can come get your ass real fucking fast. Ain't nothing gonna stop them. You know, we're all being watched always. They're tracking everything you do. That's why whenever you're having a conversation about something, and then it pop up on your phone later, you're like, how the fuck I know that? Because shit's listening. Like, what do you mean? Obviously.
And collected and intercepted constantly by companies.
اليوم تشعر المنطقة بأنها في حالة استقرار، في حالة سلام. التحرك الأمريكي ربما يعيد الصراع للحيوية من جديد.
دكتور مبارك، يعني نريد أن نتساءل أيضا، يعني لربما الخطوة الأمريكية بررتها الولايات المتحدة بالمضايقات التي قامت بها إيران لبعض السفن التجارية في هذا المضيق، وهنا نتساءل عن كيف تنظر دول الخليج لهذه المضايقات خلال الفترة الماضية من قبل إيران لتلك السفن في هذا المضيق.
نحن نعلم أن قضية بين قوسين المضايقة
Getting a little tired. This. What's wrong with this?
Right out of Venezuela. Goodbye, everybody. Thank you, everybody. You want to see something nice? Come here. Look at that.
Depending on how long that war with Iran lasts, will you guys come back on this show and at least admit I was right?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Conversely, though, if it ends within 6 months,
Yep.
Iran is defanged and the Abraham Accords are expanded, will you admit that?
Yeah, of course.
All
Yeah,
right,
of course.
then.
What I'm
Let's
saying is
see.
that Trump is not going to allow himself
Let's
to be
see.
drafted. I just don't think
I
it's a
hope not.
possibility. You have way too much. Look, I don't have that much faith in any politician.
I'm not saying
but you know that I'm not MAGA.
There's no way he's going to let himself be pushed around by anybody, including
The final thing I'll say about this, and then we can move on, is we currently have a United States Congress that's nickel and diming the fuck out of Americans by focusing on cuts to Medicaid, SNAP benefits. In the meantime, we are sending tens of billions of dollars to Israel so they can fight their wars.
I would much rather defend Israel than defend Iran.
By the way, she's not just defending Iran. You go on X and you see a lot of people on the right, conservatives, who also completely agree with Anna. They don't want to see American lives taken. They don't want to spend trillions of dollars on another war.
Nobody does.
So then what's your point? Let's say, okay, so China and Russia are now saying that they will back Iran. What are we to do then if we get in that position, Adam, where they're saying, okay, now American men on the front line, are you pro-America or are you pro-Israel?
I think we know the answer to that shit. And nigga Adam don't, you know, he falls in line where he falls in line. Bunch of shit still happening. Iranian parliament burning the American flag. I mean, it's not a real American flag, it's just a piece of paper, but whatever. Maybe if we stop fucking up their country, they wouldn't be trying to burn our fucking flags. You ever think about that, motherfuckers? Keep fucking with all them and all they homies, all they neighbors and shit. Like, I wouldn't like us either, shit. Let's check these updates. The latest. Yeah, something on fire. Target's taking to run. Yeah, I think these are all the people that they swear they killed, but I'm telling you, these niggas, they gonna pop up like some motherfucking cockroaches, my nigga. Them niggas ain't dead, bro. Facts. I ran out here like Jon Snow, nigga, ready to go. That's what it was. Huh? Huh?
I was thinking you had said that. I'm like, you can't quote them.
Nah. Bro, that shit old. Why the fuck would niggas be in the middle of Tehran fucking protesting right now? That shit don't even make sense. Niggas is dropping bombs all up and through that bitch. The motherfuckers gonna be like, hey, let's go outside and fucking hey homie, I can share your stream in the Kick community to help it hit 200 followers. Nigga, you gonna buy my shit, bro. Nice try. Show me the community and I'll see if it's real. On Discord, aboy _011. I guarantee you there's a bunch of ain't nobody in there. I'm about to go check it out. I bet it's just a bunch of niggas botting. Discord. Oh shit. Am I doxing myself? Oh no, I'm good. Let's see. aboy _001. Bro, what the fuck's my Discord password? I don't even feel like doing this shit. I'm definitely about to. Okay, there we go. Alright, let's see. Search. I ain't gonna lie, I don't even know how to use Discord. This is some young motherfuckers. Is it 2Y? Search this one. Okay. I don't even know how to use Discord, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Add a friend. Says I sent you a request. You know I know your ass over here botting, I ain't gonna lie. I'm sure you over here botting. I ain't paying for that shit though. I added you on Discord, nigga. I already know your ass fucking gonna buy my shit though. Or try to buy my shit. I'm not paying for it, so you can do whatever you want. Let's see what we got. Let's go to the latest updates. Israel. Let's see what Al Jazeera talking about.
94 during the election campaign. At least. And so a lot of people will point to that and say, well, you campaigned on the idea, in your words, of no stupid foreign wars. How does this fit in. Now, it's clear that the preparation for this has been going on for some considerable time, that the Israelis and the United States are coordinating on targets, that the Israelis seem to be targeting more the head of the government there, the regime, and Donald Trump is targeting, as you heard from his social media post, more the missile sites across the country. He also said that this is going to take several days to carry out. There is support, obviously, from those close to him, like Lindsey Graham, but there are many asking questions. Why didn't he mention this in the State of the Union? You can maybe understand why, but why has he not sought approval from Congress to launch any action at all against Iran?
And so perhaps today he will have to contend with Congress, but it's not just Democrats that will be upset with it. As you touched on there, there is a large base in the U.S. Republican Party right now that is completely anti-interventionist, no matter where it is. Is the president going to be likely to listen to those voices, or is it too late now?
Well, it's too late. The war's underway, and of course, what we've seen is that Donald
Carlson
Trump for
tried to
so
go
long
for it.
said, look, we're not going to get involved in nation building, we're not going to get involved in regime change. It's been echoed by other members of the administration. In fact, it was only early in January that J.D. Vance, the vice president, said, well, we're looking to stop Iran getting a nuclear weapon. We're not interested in regime change. But he's aware that there's been pressure from the Israelis, who for 20 years have been saying that Iran is on the verge of developing a nuclear bomb. But also, he's under pressure from his own allies in the region who said, look, if you go for regime change, what happens the day after? And the day after that, there is concern that there is no succession plan. There is no group that would obviously take power. And that throws the whole region into uncertainty. In the meantime, what we're seeing is exactly what Iran said, that there is the possibility of this expanding into a regional war if there was the potential for a United States-Israeli attack. And what we've seen over the last couple of hours is exactly that, attacks on American interests, American air bases, American military installations around the Middle East, as promised by the government in Tehran.
Alan Fisher live in Washington. Thank you, Alan. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has made an address saying the attack on Iran has been launched to remove, quote, an existential threat. He added a call for the Iranian people to take their fate into their own hands.
Israel and the United States launched a joint campaign, Operation Lion's Roar. The objective of the operation is to put an end to the threat from the Ayatollah regime in Iran. At this time, the IDF is attacking targets of the oppressive regime, facilities of the Revolutionary Guard, along with the United States military, targeting ballistic missile sites that threaten both Israel and U.S. forces. This operation will continue as long as necessary. In recent months, the tyrants in Iran have been plotting to rebuild their nuclear and missile capabilities and to bury them underground, where we won't be able to strike them. If we don't stop them now, they will become invulnerable. To that end, the representatives in negotiations are trying to buy time, attempting to buy time in fruitless and deceitful negotiations with our American friends. Whoever lays down their weapons, including among the regime forces, will ensure their safety and secure their future. The Iranian people in all their diversity, Persians, Kurds, Azeris, Baluch, Abkhazians, and all other citizens of this wonderful nation, this is your opportunity to establish a new and free Iran. Take your destiny into your own hands.
Let's go back to Noor O'Day now, who's joining us from Ramallah in the occupied West Bank. So, Noor, both the Israeli Prime Minister and the American President making the case that these strikes are because, one, Iran is an existential threat, but also, two, that this is them helping the Iranian people. How will this address by Benjamin Netanyahu land with the Israeli people? Will they be happy about the fact that this is also partly regime change, and are they willing to bear the brunt of that?
Well, Israeli military doctrine has always been to maintain military superiority in the region, and it has always considered Iran to be a top enemy of the state of Israel. This doctrine has, even hardened even more since 2023, and Israel is seeking to be the hegemon in the region, not just to have military superiority. There is no no difference in opinion, one that really makes a difference in any case in Israel regarding Iran. And we even heard from the opposition leader in Israel, Yair Lapid, a few days ago, saying if there are strikes on Iran, if there is a confrontation with Iran, there would be no government and opposition. Israel would be united behind the armed forces. They would support them while they undertake that task on behalf of Israel. Now, all of this, of course, aligns with statements that we're hearing being reported by Israeli media, quoting senior Israeli officials saying that Israel right now is targeting present, past and future leaders of the Iranian regime, as they describe it. There are even estimates that some of those top leaders have been targeted, and there.
More, what bigger could we say, like right
What
now?
time? What time is he going to announce it?
They're not saying it yet, Myron.
Yeah, they didn't say. They
Just
didn't
that it's going to be a
specify the
major
time.
You know what he's
announcement.
going to say? He's going to say mission accomplished, like Bush.
Yeah, Beatrice, you called that. You nailed that. You said in the State of Union, this is what's going to happen. Either he's going to announce it or he's going to really talk about it. And then after that final prep, he will make his, oh my God, it's happened. You said that.
Yeah,
And this is what
Andrew,
we're
I
looking
did.
at.
I said he's going to rile up. I said either he's going to
Yeah,
announce, either they're going to go to war just before, or he's going
yeah.
to use that speech to rile up the American people on his successes, and then shortly after he's going to do the attack.
Yeah, so kudos to you, kiddo. You nailed that. And all the military analysts have been saying this for a week now. I looked like an ass, but I hung it out there saying it's going to be 24, 48 hours. Now, I had to sign 2 NDAs, right? But I'm not there's a lot of military people, they cannot speak about things, and I got righted hard on that. But the senior officers I've been talking to, this is an. Why is it existential? Well, Iran, they're not playing this time. And Israel, they think they're in the psychopathic, we own, the world belongs to us. And it's all ideological, but it doesn't matter.
Thinks he's gonna galvanize the people and get everybody all rah-rah and ready for war and shit. He thinks that's what's gonna happen, but it's not. We're the majority, especially the base that voted for him. We're all extremely pissed off. Nobody voted for this shit. 80% of the country doesn't agree with this war. We didn't want this. We're not doing it for us. We're doing it for Israel's interests. We have nothing in. Iran can't hurt us. Iran's not worried about us, you know. But yeah, man, we'll see. I'm gonna hop off here. Like I said, running on like 2 hours of sleep, so I'm tired. And I'm gonna hop back on in the morning, maybe around 4:30 right now. I'll probably hop back on around like 10. Hopefully nothing too crazy happens while I'm asleep. I doubt it. I don't doubt it. It's probably gonna be bombs dropping all morning. We'll see. Did my shit just freeze? Oh, no. It didn't. Okay. There you go. Anyway, have a good morning.